Hello everybody, I hope you are well. Thank you again for joining me. My name's Diane, and if you're new, welcome. I try each week to put out a video that is informal, chatty. We have a lovely community if you want to have a look at some of the comments, and it's always to do with quilting, so it's things for my sewing room. And I should say, buenos dias. So if you do follow me, you know what that's all about. I'm going to try something quite ambitious today. I'm going to try and film, drumroll, 4 videos. I won't try and edit them today so that you can have something each week while I'm away. So in preparation, I've drunk more than enough coffee, too much probably. I've got some water. I've ironed 4 different tops, so each section that I film I'm going to wear a different top. I'm hoping that's going to help me out with the editing process. If it doesn't, then please excuse the quick changes, I don't know. But let's look at this week's. So if you do know my video, I keep a quilting journal. And so what I do at the end of each month is look back and see whether I've managed to do the things I hope to do, and anything else that happened goes in there. So let's have a look and see what I was hoping to do in May. I start each month with a theme, and as I was putting this page together, it was May the 4th, and so may the Force be with you. If you like Star Wars, and I do, I decided I would do a alien-y, spacey type thing. And what I tend to do is to draw an image and put a note in, and that's just a reminder or a name of what I want to do in the month. And then as I complete that, I colour in the image. So you can see there, Project Linus spaceship, and then deliver quilts to Kim. So I didn't have time to make a spaceship quilt for Project Linus this month. I ran out of time, and I haven't yet delivered the quilts to Kim, but I'm hoping to before I go. So that's not coloured yet. But I took a long time this month making the sustainable quilt for my local quilt show. And when I say our local quilt show, I mean local in locality. I don't mean it's a little small affair. It's a huge show. It's the Festival of Quilts. It's held in the county next to ours. So like I say, it's local to us. But it's quite big. But I don't want people to be overly impressed by the fact that I've entered it. It's not a judged entry. They try to hang as many as enter, and I think that's about 700-800. It's going to be a big show, and so I am proud of it though. I did say at the start of the year that it was just a thought really whether I would or would not make a sustainable quilt, and I had an idea of what and how I wanted to make it, and I was just really playing with the idea of it and making some sample blocks and putting things together. And then in May I decided I would do it, and I went full in. That took a long time, and I am really proud of it. I don't think it will win a prize. Like I've said before, I've never entered a quilt show before. There are areas I think I could have done better. I might not meet all of their criteria. I think I have, but we shall see. But I am really looking forward to seeing it hanging up in a public space. It's really, really bright. It's not big, but you won't be able to miss it. It's not something, it's not a wallflower type quilt. It shouts, look at me. So we'll see how that goes. So that was the quilt. I wanted to do a monthly review about the improv quilt quilting that I'd started, and I did that at the start of the month, was the completion of the Midnight Garden quilt and pillow shams, and that again was at the very start of the month, so I did that. This one was to make the improv quilt, complete that, which I did eventually. If you've seen that video, you'll know what I mean. What's this one? Oh, I closed my Etsy shop in May. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. I completed the blue and cream flimsy, and I completed the improv flimsy. So those were all the things that I managed to do in May. What I normally do then is where I made the blue and cream batik quilt, I usually take a picture and then I write notes. I will write notes, but it's not complete, so I haven't wrote anything there. Then I've got 2 pages that are scribbles on. I'll share those with you later because that's to do with my sustainable quilt. That again for the improv quilt, I need to take pictures, there's some notes. And then June, I'm away in Spain, so I want to make videos for while I'm away. And that's what I'm doing this week. So if you look in the reflection in the mirror behind me, you'll see the blue and cream flimsy for the blue batik quilt top that I've made. And next week I'll show the design of that and I'll share that. I'll put all the information on my community page. I just want to mention that because I design my own quilts as well, and I design them on graph paper, and then I take pictures of the completed design and the blocks and how to put them together, and I put that on my community page, which is my YouTube community page. It's all free of charge. You can go there and download them if you want to. Some people have wondered whether that was a Facebook page. No, I don't have Facebook. I only have YouTube, and occasionally I put images on Pinterest. But apart from that, it's just those 2 forms of media. So next week, I'll share the process of how I made that, designed that, and I'll put all of those images on my community page before I fly. So that'll all be done there. And this is the lovely top for the improv quilt. And it's a controlled improv quilt. And if you watched me making that or completing that, I've got to say, in my defence, when I started making this quilt, all of these little individual blocks were controlled by colour. Blocks, they were either squares or rectangles, and the sizes that I used, but apart from that they were completely improvisational. I just put them together freely. When I tried to assemble all of those blocks, that's when I took control. I mean, it was fun. It was fun, and I did enjoy it. And if you look at some of the comments, I asked people, if you look at this completed top, is there an image that you can see? There's not a right answer or a wrong answer to that question. It was just, you know, how does your mind work? Where does it take you when you see something that's abstract? Because we always want to make sense of the world, don't we? And I thought when I made it, just a dropped paint pot splashing everywhere. But we've had beautiful pixelated butterflies. We've had a romantic view of parrots flying against the sky. We've had Minecraft. We've had an aerial view of an enchanted, forgotten island. The one that made me laugh out loud the most was a plane crash. Really, Barbara? Before I fly? Oh, that made me howl. Yes, she said she hasn't been on the cooking sherry, but is there any evidence to prove that? But anyway, so made that one. That was good fun. So I'm going to quilt that when I come back. And now about the closure of my Etsy shop. It's not a permanent thing, I don't think. They tell you not to close your shop. If you are away for a holiday, then they say to just defer delivery of your goods. But I'm away for quite a while, and so I just thought it would be much easier for me to do that. And so I have closed it. So I'll show you the facts and figures of how we got on. So I closed my shop on the 20th of May. The total views up to then were 102. I had 71 visits, no orders, no sales, no revenue. Etsy traffic was 54% and I bought 46%. So, not great. So if you are new to my channel and you're surprised at the my business prowess, it's not a profit-making business. What I do in my Etsy shop is to put quilts that I haven't got a home for. So I make quilts for myself, my husband, my family, my friends. I have a charity outlet, which is Project Linus. And then the other things I sometimes put in my shop, and that's really to recoup the cost of the fabrics, and so I can buy more. So, like I say, it isn't really going to set the business world on fire, my model. Although Etsy have told me that I need to charge more for my quilts. It's really weird because one day I get a message saying I'm not charging enough, I need to charge more. And then the next day I'm getting urged to have these sales at 50%. Well, I'll be running at a loss if I cut my costs by 50%. So no, I will continue. I did say I'm going to see the year out on Etsy and then make up my mind. I don't know when I'm going to open the Etsy shop again because they say you shouldn't really fall below 5 products in there. Well, I'm down to 3 now. And it doesn't help my business when I do make a beautiful quilt like the Midnight Garden quilt, and I thought, oh, I'll put that one in, that'll go. But then my husband claims it for ours. So, like I say, not a brilliant businesswoman. I've been making these quilt tops with the idea of making some quilts when I come back, quilting them up, you know, batting and backing, putting them in the shop, and, you know, when there's a good enough number, opening it up again. But then I thought, what happens if we have a hot summer? Will I really be wanting to be quilting quite heavy work if we get some hot weather in July? I mean, so far it looks doubtful. It is really raining again now. Every day this week, most of last week. So it's like I say, we're at the end of June and no sign of a summer yet. But we'll see. That's my intention, is to get ahead with these quilt tops and quilt them up, ready to put in the shop. And why am I down to 3? Well, one of the quilts that I had in there, I washed and changed the label on, and I'm giving to Project Linus. It's a perfectly good quilt. It's been in the Etsy shop for quite a while. I don't know really why it didn't sell. There's a number of reasons, I suppose. Perhaps people just didn't like it. It was well made. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the construction of it, and the materials were good. But I'm wondering whether that might be part of the reason, because I think I mentioned in the description it was a scrappy quilt. Well, a scrappy quilt to a quilter might have a different visual impact on someone that wants to buy a quilt than someone that doesn't know that term. I suppose it could have connotations of being inferior. The fabric I used, I did buy a duvet, cotton duvet, from a charity shop. It was unused. It was so new, still in the packet. And some curtains. I used the cotton from some curtains, also from a charity shop, also new. So the idea when I made that was I was going to make an upcycled quilt once a month and put that in my shop. I would go to the charity shops, I would buy something that someone had put there and find a new lease of life for it. Unfortunately, the people that visited my shop weren't interested. I think I sold one upcycled quilt in all the time that I was doing that, so I don't do that anymore. So I'll show you the quilts I've put together in a little gallery for Project Linus now. So I think that's it now for this week. Sometimes the videos are longer, sometimes they're shorter. They're always informal and chatty and friendly, I hope. So if you'd like to join us, please do. I shall now go and attempt to film another one. Change my top. Oh, I'm sure there's disasters out there that you can see coming that I haven't seen yet. Anyway, take really good care of yourselves, and I will see you next week. Bye.